Hey, it's Renessa, and I am doing a quick impromptu video, recording, training something on creating your code of conduct. And I don't think I've ever taught this before, but it's going to be part of our Perfect Work Design Intensive because it is so critical. And so I'm just popping in, and I don't have on any makeup. I got my workout gear on. I need to get to the nail salon, get my nails done, and I have an eye infection, and so. That eye. So that's all that's going on with me. And I need to put it out there so that I am not insecure about this video and I can get down to business and really give you what you need to have. So, so here's why you creating a code of conduct is so critical, whether you join us for the Perfect Work Design Intensive or not. You've got to hear this because getting as I mentioned, getting the clarity on kind of designing your perfect work and what that looks like and what you want to be doing, have, and all that. That clarity is one thing. Becoming the woman who can make that career or business or that mission come to life is totally different. Because the woman who got you to the level of success that you currently enjoy is not the same chick that's going to get you to next level living. And that new you needs a new code of conduct. And so it's just critical. And the whole point about the code of conduct is that it dictates how you are going to show up in the world, independent of how you feel, independent of what's going on around you, independent of what people have said, or independent of whether they have honored their promises to you or not, independent of whether the road is hard, independent of whether you're having a hard day, independent of how your kids are showing up. Like, we have to show up with a level of consistency in the world in order to be able to make the progress that we need to make. And we cannot be at the mercy and at the whim of how we're feeling and what's going on and all of that. That's where the code of conduct comes into play. So my code of conduct, it's actually a 12-point code of conduct. And that's how I'm going to teach it in the Perfect Work Design Intensive. That's how I teach it with some of the private coaching clients. But yours can be shorter. I certainly wouldn't suggest it being longer, but I'm going to walk you through my 12 points and I'm going to walk you through what they are and why I have created them so that you can start to understand how you even think about creating a code of conduct. So, a code of conduct, the thing you want to think about is that it's not a reflection of the woman that you currently are. It's a reflection of the woman you need to be, or the person, if there's, there may be men listening in on this as well. It's a reflection of the person that you need to be in order to reach the goal, in order to start the business, in order to create the mission, in order to get the visibility. Like, you have to become a certain person and you have to conduct yourself in a certain way in order to be able to attract, to manifest, to step into opportunity, to show up the way the marketplace needs you, and all of that. That's what the code of conduct is. So it should feel like a stretch, but it's an aspirational stretch that literally does raise your vibration. It brings you peace. It brings you joy. It brings you excitement as you think about who you get to be and all of that. So let me walk you through it. And then I'm going to share really the thought process behind mine as well. So first thing on my list in my code of conduct is I decree and ask God for everything, big and small, and I consider it done. Now, I know there's some of you who are believers, you believe in God. There's others of you who, don't. You might be somewhere in the middle. Doesn't really matter. This is how the kid rolls. So I'm just telling you what my code of conduct is. You get to do differently. But there's a scripture in Job 22, and it says, you will declare and decree a thing, and it will be established for you, and the light of God's favor will shine upon your ways. That's the scripture. And so the idea is that what you say, what you decree is what will be established for you. And so the Bible says, ask, ask and you'll receive, ask and it will be done for you. And there's so many places in the word where it says to ask. And so I was like, okay, well, I just need to ask. I need to ask more often. And it's not just about big things. Like, oftentimes we'll ask about big stuff. Ooh, win the lottery, or, something big, get the house or whatever. When it's the small things that end up being the things that frustrate us. It's the small things that end up stressing us out. It's the small things that end up creating insecurity and anxiety in our lives. And so for me, one of the code of conducts was I need to ask for everything, even the stuff that I think I can handle, even the things that I think I should be able to show up and do. I need to ask for the grace for those things, and then I consider it done. It's a wrap, it's finished. That's how I behave in the marketplace. Second, I take impeccable care of my body. Impeccable care of my body. I know that the only way that I can have the energy, the clarity, the creativity to do what I want to do and to really bring the vision that I have for my life and my business to bear is I gotta have the energy. I gotta be in the right space. I need to eat well. I need to sleep. I need to hydrate. Like I call myself a hydrated honey, so that I remember to drink my water. It's not like, oh, I gotta have 8 glasses, of water, blah, blah, blah. Like that's not inspiring. I am a hydrated honey because I take impeccable care of my body. Like that whole idea shifts my energy around doing the things that I need to do in order to be well. Now, mind you, remember I said your code of conduct is aspirational. This is an area I don't do well in. I tend to be the woman that leans towards burnout. I tend to be the person who burn on both sides of the candle. And so my code of conduct is the thing that gives me the accountability that says you need to rein it in. So I've been great about I don't do stress. I don't do arguments with people. I don't do strife. I don't do any of that. Why? Because I take impeccable care of my body. And so there are things that I have really done well at because this has been part of my code of conduct. And yet at the same time, there's some aspiration here because this is an area that's not easy for me. So when you think about your code of conduct, you got to figure out, who do I need to become? I got to be that woman in order to even be able to have this conversation with you, to even be able to step up in a video in the middle of the day with an idea and bring it. It's because I have to be able to have, take impeccable care of my body. Third, I do what I do excellently with 100% certainty of my decisions. Like I am one of those women, I make decisions fast. I make decisions very quickly. Now I pray about it, I think about it, and if I don't have peace about it, I'll wait. So I don't make rash decisions, but I make decisions quickly. And when I make a decision, because I know that I've prayed about it, I've thought about it, and if it's the decision for me, it's a wrap. I am done. I am 150% in. And the challenge with most women is that we tend to make decisions and then we're second guessing. Oh, I don't know if that was right and this and that. And oh, maybe that wasn't the right decision. Why? Because we look back on our past and we've made bad decisions, whether it's bad partners or, we just didn't do. And so we don't trust ourselves when we make decisions. And so we'll make a decision, we'll be fired up about it in the morning, in one moment. And then the next day we're starting to second guess. And so you end up going north and south. At the same time, you take one step forward, 2 steps back, and all of that. And so then you don't follow through on what needs to happen. You don't do the hard things. You're not consistent. Why? Because you don't know, you don't have 100% certainty of the choice that you make, right? For me, that is a decision. I'm going to give you an example. I had invested in a program some time ago. I'm always investing in anything that's going to help me to grow, anything that's going to help my business to grow, anything that's going to teach me a new skill that I can then turn back and use it and be a force for good. I'm all for it. But I invested in this program, and there was a woman in the program, and she was, she'd been in the program longer than I had, and she wasn't getting the result that she wanted, and she was pissed off about it. And she was, she's talking to me, and she's like, this isn't working, and blah blah blah, and this and that. And I heard her out. I heard her out. But in my mind, I was like, nope, that ain't gonna be me. Just because that's her story doesn't mean that it's my story. Years ago, that might have had me second guessing. Well, maybe this isn't the right program, and but her result is not indicative of what mine is going to be. Why? Because I made my decision for a reason. I am 100% certain of it, and I'm going to work it out excellently. Because you don't know on the other side why you made the decision that you made. So for me, I don't second guess what I do. I don't second guess anything. So then I don't waste time and energy in unresourceful states due to self-doubt. But that's just my code of conduct. 4, 5, whenever I meet someone, I treat the event like a holy encounter. I know no stranger and I fear no man. One of the biggest challenges for us oftentimes is that when we meet people, we are sizing ourselves up to them. Are they better than us? Are they worse than us? Are they more accomplished than us? Are they not? Do I have anything to offer in this relationship? There's all this comparison. There's all this insecurity that can happen as a result. I made a decision. My code of conduct is that when I come before you, I am going to honor you like it is such an honor to know you. And it doesn't matter if you are the CEO someplace and you can open doors for me. And it doesn't matter if you are just a regular Joe. I want to treat you like it is an honor to know you. That's how I roll, because I know no matter who you are, I can add value to your world, no matter who you are. And so when you do that, then that insecurity that comes with how you interact with people, or the ego that will have you treating some people great and then dismissing other people, like all that stuff goes away, because that's not the woman that I want to be. It's not how I want to show up in the marketplace. So I actually created a code of conduct around that. Number 6, I am world class in my craft. I made a decision that I am world class in my craft. It doesn't mean that there aren't folks out there who are doing better, who are doing bigger, who are doing whatever, but I am world class, which means that anything that I put out into the marketplace, it is going to be excellent. Now, what was excellent 5 years ago, I have a very different definition of excellence today. I've grown, I've evolved, it's gotten better, it's all of that, but I show up world class. So for you, as you think about your own code of conduct and what perfect work that you are looking to create, whether it's career, business, and otherwise, it informs, well, how am I going to show up in this meeting? Am I going to go the extra mile? Am I going to do just a little bit? Am I going to put a little more sizzle on this because I'm world class in what I do? Again, that's my code of conduct. It doesn't have to be yours. But in order to be a woman of service for the work that I do, I have to always decide that whatever I'm putting in front of my audience needs to be the absolute best, even if I have no makeup on, I got workout gear on, my nails are jacked, and I got big old fat sty on my eye. Still gonna show up world class in whatever possible, scenario that is. 7th, I am always ready early. That is a code of conduct. And remember when I said aspirational, this is very aspirational for me because I lean towards late. But so that's why I set a code of conduct. I said I am always ready early. What that means for me is that I am 5 minutes ready for every call. So if I'm on a Zoom call or whatever, I need to be ready 5 minutes early, sitting there, even if nobody else is there. I'm 20 minutes early for any live appointment. So if it's a doctor's appointment, if I'm meeting somebody or whatever, I am at the spot 20 minutes early. I'm 24 hours ready and done for any deadline. So if the deadline is tomorrow, I am done ahead of time. That's who I want to be. Why? Because that eliminates stress for me. It eliminates all the rushing. It eliminates all of the, this or that or the other. It eliminates being in negative energy that you have to clear out so that you can be on for your thing. And so the woman who wants to have this designer life is a woman who's never rushed, who's never in a hurry. That's aspirational. I'm not always that way. But when I read this every day, I'm like, oh, that's the chick I'm going to be today. I set the stage. I have already designed my day by my code of conduct. And so therefore I make different decisions instead of doing the one last thing that I can squeeze in before this meeting that really is going to take me 2 minutes over. And so therefore I arrive 2 minutes late. I decide, nope, because I always show up early, right? So it's the code of conduct. 8, I live at 300% physiology and I choose to be dazzling. For me, this was personal because in my life, I tend to have more of a melancholy spirit. I'm not a depressed person or anything like that, but my energy used to, tend to be lower. And so I learned this in Tony Robbins because it was all about managing your state and all this other kind of stuff. And what I realized is that I needed to be bigger in my energy in order to raise my vibration and in order to raise my mood, really. And I wanted to be a woman who was dazzling. Like when people met me or they engaged with me, I wanted their energy levels to rise up. And it's not about being fake. I'm not a naturally extroverted person. I operate extroverted because of the work that I do, but I'm actually quite introverted. I'm right there on that cusp. I like me time. I'm real cerebral and all of that. But my market needs me to be bigger. needs me to have a bigger energy, an authentic energy, but a bigger energy because I hold space for people. I'm a container for them in their dreams, which means that I need to show up. So one of my codes of conduct was I choose to be dazzling. I choose to be dazzling. So when I'm on, I'm on. I'm on. But it's not just about being on in the marketplace. It's about in my home. In my home, am I going to have that energy? Am I going to be that giver? Am I going to show up and really reflect the abundance of God in this moment? It's a choice, and it's how I choose to conduct myself. Code of conduct. 10. Number 9. I bless the success of everyone I come in contact with, and I stay my authentic course. I wrote this one because I tend to lean towards envy. I tend to lean towards envy. And so in the past, if someone was doing something that I wanted to do, I would, in my heart, I'd get this little pit in my stomach, like, and it wasn't because I didn't want that good thing for them. It's because I wanted it for me, or because, oh my gosh, it's taking me so long to get there, or what's happening, or this or that or the other. This code of conduct came because I was like, nope, if somebody's got something I want, whatever it is, it could be work related, it could be personal, it could be whatever. I bless their success. I bless their success. I want doors to open for them. I want opportunities to align for them. Why? Because I can't ever get something that I begrudge to somebody else, right? And so in that moment, that's how I cut that off in the past. At the past, it is I bless the success of everyone I come in contact with, and I stay my authentic course. Because a challenge, especially if you're someone who's in business or looking to go into business, and you're unsure at those early stages, like you have this design and you're just kind of, stepping one step in front of the other and seeing how things unfold, it is so easy to get distracted and pulled off your course when you're looking at what people are doing around you. And well, maybe their way is better, or maybe I should pivot over here and this and that. No, you stay your authentic course. That's why that code of conduct was written for me. 11, I do what I have to do as quickly as possible to do more of what I want to do. For a lot of you, you are creating perfect work in the midst of a very full container already. You might be working full time on a job and you're starting kind of a side hustle or a side gig or a side business or whatever, or you might be trying to make a pivot in the midst of doing what are currently doing full time, or you've got lots of other responsibilities and so on. And so there can be this tendency to complain, at least for me, about, oh, I got all this to do. And then I procrastinate on the stuff I don't want to do. And then that stuff gets dragged out, and I never really get to the things that the needle movers that really move the dial in my perfect work. So my code of conduct was, if I don't want to do it, instead of complaining about not wanting to do it, instead of dragging my feet about not wanting to do it, instead of all wasting all this time, I get it done. I get it done as fast as I can so I can move on to what I really want to do. For me, it was a productivity hack. And that's why it became a code of conduct. And then last thing. And so again, code of conduct is about who are you? Who are you being? Because who are you being will affect what you do. You'll let go of stuff faster. You'll move through challenges quicker. You won't have this up and down cycle where one day you're on and the next day you're in the doldrums. Why? Because you have decided objectively how you are going to show up, independent by you. And so when we're in the intensive, we're going to figure out, at this point, we would have designed your life and the things that you want to accomplish and be and do and have and all that other stuff. And then we're going to figure out, well, who do you need to become? Who's the woman that you need to become in order to do that? You'll be able to look at, where are the pitfalls in my life? Where do I always get tripped up? What's the sticking points for me? Those become things that influence what your code of conduct is going to be. And the really cool thing about code of conduct is when you read it, and it's something you can do daily, it's something you can do at night or whatever, you're calling forth that woman. You're like, man, I was late all day today. But guess what? I am always early. I'm always early. I'm 5 minutes early. I'm 20 minutes early. I'm 24 hours early, which means that guess what? Tomorrow I get to show up differently. Or if I'm setting that intention for the day, this is the woman that I'm going to show up at. If I'm going into a network meeting and I know I'm going to be meeting people, and some of those people might be folks who are somewhat intimidating to me. Guess what? Whenever I meet someone, I treat the event like a holy encounter. I don't have to go into the event and be somebody bigger than I am. I actually get to make that person feel amazing because I've put my ego out of the way. So if those are hangups for you, when you're showing up in the world, we get to figure out what that is for you. And then you get to create a code of conduct around that that then serves how you go out there and you do something amazing in the world. Got it? So we will see you on the other side. Bye.